In this first project, we're going to start out with the 3 little pails from the Dollar Tree. They come in a package. And then these dowels we're going to cut down to 5 inches each. And you will need about 4 or 5 of those, whatever your preference is. We will also take this square dowel from the Hobby Lobby, and we're going to cut those down to 15 inches each. These miter shears work great. They cut through these like butter. Both pieces was very easy to trim. They have like a spring locking system. Then of course you want to go ahead and sand down your pieces so there's no splinters and they're nice and even for you. And then I used my mat to help me place everything where I wanted it to go. And then I mark where each one of those dowels is. I mark the outside of the square dowel where I want my steps to go on my ladder. And then I take some little finishing nails I have, and I'm going to hammer a finishing nail on each one of those markings that I made. And once I get all of those nails done, you will see that there's a little bitty bit poking out. So I'll take the circle dowels and drill a pilot hole in them so we will be able to hook those circle dowels into the square dowels. Take a little bit of hot glue, wood glue, and only mark one, glue one side because that's all we're doing for now. We're going to take each one of those circle dowels and hook it into that little nail that you have sticking out there. And once you get each one of your step ladders glued in, you're going to want to let it dry and kind of set up a little bit. And then we will add our other square dowel. Once you have each one of your steps in place and it's set up, lay it on its side and add your other side. Just a little hot glue, wood glue, and hook each one of your dowels in place, reinforcing with some hot glue where you need it. Then we're going to take this hanging basket from Dollar Tree and cut 3 pieces of the wire off to create 3 S hooks for your baskets so they can then hang on the ladder. Once you have 3 pieces of that cut off, just use your needle nose pliers to bend and then cut off any excess. They don't have to be perfect because this is rustic farmhouse decor. Once you have your 3 hooks, guys, you're going to take your little ladder and sand off any of the glue pieces that might be stuck on there. And we're going to give it 1 coat of Waverly ink chalk paint. Does anybody else like to watch craft videos and just watch people paint? It's like kind of satisfying. I do. Just get an even coat of that paint, getting the steps and all over. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to dry brush mine. But you don't have to. That's just my own personal preference. Then I give those pails a nice coat of white Waverly chalk paint because I want everything to have that cohesive matte finish. With that same brush and just dry brush my ladder as well. I go heavy with the dry brushing, guys. I liked the way it looked. After I dry brush that ladder, I come in with a makeup sponge and do the enamel look on my white pails. And I just like using the makeup brush. It gives me better control of that paint. Then once those pails are dry, I'm going to cut a couple of pieces of the floral foam and add that to the bottom of the pails. You can hot glue them in, but I only had to hot glue one piece of mine. Then I'm going to add the greenery to it. You use whatever you want. Walmart greenery, the boxwood, and eucalyptus are good options, and the Dollartree has a lot of good options as well. Once I got the greenery in, I thought they were still a little plain, so I took these letters and numbers from the Target dollar spot, but Dollar Tree has quite a few options of stickers as well. But I just put MOM on one side of the pail, and then I put 1, 2, 3 on the other side. And this is how it turned out. MOM on one side and 1, 2, 3 on the other. I like how it turned out, but let me know what you think. Our next project, we are taking 3 of these wooden crates and 2 of the 5-gallon stir sticks. Then I cut down 3 pieces of the jumbo craft sticks from Walmart, so I could just glue those on the back to attach both of the 5-gallon stir sticks. Once I'm done gluing those, I turn it over and I'm going to use my crates to mark where I want to glue those. Go ahead and mark where you want to glue them, because if you're using hot glue, wood glue, you will not be able to remove it without ruining your project. So here I just put the glue on the crate and then glued down the crate on the marking, but I learned that it was better to go ahead and just put the glue on the 5-gallon stir stick. And once you get all 3 of your crates placed, you're going to add a dot of hot glue on a piece of craft stick, then a piece of twine, and just push that up against your stir sticks, and that will be your hanger. Later on, I do add some stuff to this because I thought it was a little bit plain, but right now, here's how it turned out. You can put it up against the wall or hang it. Our next project, we will be taking this vinyl or contact paper from Dollar Tree. I pizza pan and a cake pan, and we're going to create a tray. I used my pizza pan to measure out and cut along the crease of that contact paper. And then once I have it cut out, I will clean off my pizza pan with some alcohol. And I got that little pump from Dollartree. It comes in handy. First, I fold it in half, then fold it in half again, and that will create my center. Then I'm going to take that wood round and just trace around that, so when I glue the middle of the vase down, that's going to support in between the pie pan and cake pan, I'm gluing directly onto the pizza pan and not onto the contact paper. So here we add the contact paper, and I just use my Cricut spatula, but you can use a credit card. And then I go ahead and glue my wood round to my vase, and that's what I'm going to use in between the two pieces. Here I'm going to take my drill. Now I'm going to drill a hole through and through this side and the other side of the candlestick, so that I can then hook in a shower curtain ring, and that's going to be the top of our tray. So once you go through and through, you're going to take a shower curtain ring and hook into there. But at first you're going to add a little bit of hot glue and a piece of a dowel, a wooden dowel, and that's going to create a little piece that we can hook into that. Cut it to size, and now you can hook it right in there. Hook that side and then that side, reinforced with some hot glue, and then we're going to do the same with contact paper to our cake pan. Trace that out, and then we're going to cut it. Clean it, and then start placing it. After our contact paper is placed, we're going to work on our pizza pan. This is a piece of nautical rope from Dollartree. I believe we use one or two full pieces of the natural color, and then one or two of the white color nautical rope. Just wrap it completely around. We're going to go around 2 times. Once we get there to that split, just pull it up and continue gluing. Once you get back around to your starting point, just cut it and glue it, and then we're going to start with our white rope. Add your white rope and glue it all the way around. Once you get back around to your starting point, just cut it off and glue it there, and flip over your pizza pan and glue a piece of rope all the way around the bottom. it off, and then we're going to add a piece of rope I got from Walmart. You can use the natural color, it doesn't matter. This is just a little thicker, and I'm going to add it around the side to cover up that pizza pan completely. We're just gonna make sure we're pulling tight and twisting at the same time to keep the rope in its shape. And once you get around to that starting point, just cut your piece off. Then I took my lighter and I burned off all the fuzz, gave my vase a coat of Waverly White chalk paint, actually a couple coats, and then once it was dry, I added a piece of burlap fabric or ribbon to it. Just glued it all the way around. Once I had that ribbon glued all the way around, I went ahead and added a piece of jute at the top, then a piece of chicken wire and white burlap ribbon with that white chevron pattern from the Dollar Tree. Then I cut off all the little pieces that might be pokey and then flattened down the rest that I couldn't get so no one got poked. Then take a piece of glue and go ahead and wrap your shower curtain ring with a piece of jute. And make sure you keep it real tight so you cannot see any of that plastic showing through. I also gave my cake pan a quick spray paint coat of matte black spray paint and a coat of the Waverly ink chalk paint. Once that was dry, I added a piece of chicken wire around the top of it too, but I lost that footage. I'm sorry. Once that was dry, I worked on the inside by adding the rope the same way we added to the pizza pan. Just glue it, pull it tight, and push it up to the side of the wall of the cake pan. Once you get that, then we're going to add some of the white color rope and go all the way around, just gluing, pulling tight. Do 2 rows of the white rope and cut it, and then add the thicker rope from Walmart or your natural color rope from Dollar Tree. Once you get around the inside with that rope, then you're going to come up to the rim of the cake pan and do a row of the rope there as well. Just come on up over where you cut it and keep gluing. Then on the outside of it, you're going to do your white rope. When you're gluing it to your cake pan, keep in mind where your seam is and make sure both your seams are in the back. Create a back and just put all your ugly work towards the back. Glue down that candlestick to your cake pan in the middle there where you created your hole, and use your piece of contact paper to then trace the back of your cake pan to find the center. And that's how I glued it. once your vase is in place, I used a piece of the white rope and glued it around the vase just for some extra around the vase where the vase and the cake pan meet. That's where I added that rope. I just added 2 rows of that rope to cover up any ugly glue spots. And I take my hot glue, wood glue, put it on that wood round, and glue that wood round directly to the pizza pan, keeping in mind where the seams of the rope are, and that's how it turned out. Our next project, we're going to take this truck, cut the words USA, sand it down, clean it, and then give it a couple coats of the Waverly White chalk paint. This truck I found at the Dollar General for $1 or $1.50, I can't remember. Once that truck is dry, I'm going to glue this word from Hobby Lobby. I just put a coat of antique wax, wiped off that antique wax, and then glued it to the truck. I also gave the truck a little antique wax around the edges and made it dirty and roughed it up as well. Here we are gluing that word down, and then we're going to make a shoelace bow out of the ribbon from Dollartree. So a little jute bow as well. On to the next project. Take this 11 by 14 frame, and I printed off this Let's Stay on my Cricut, but there's a lot of ways that you can get that. Hand letter it or print it off. It's the font, the skinny from dafont.com. I just varnish that and get it stuck, pull off my transfer tape. I'm just going to take my spatula tool and take the door off, and then give my house a coat of Waverly White chalk paint. I'm going to paint the roof black with the ink by Waverly. Then it only took the roof 1 coat, of course, because that black covers very well. Want to go ahead and do the sides of the house, outline it in that black, just slightly outline the sides of the house with that same brush. Next, we're going to take two 9-inch paint stir sticks and 2 14-inch paint stir sticks, and I cut those down, but I lost the footage. Give them a nice coat of the antique Waverly wax, and then wipe them off. And this is what you're left with. They're very, very pretty. Next, we're going to start assembling everything. We're going to add our door to our house, and then add our frame to our canvas. Just take the 9-inch and measure at 1 inch from either side. Each side should have 1 inch, and then take your bottom piece, and the same goes for that. Each piece should go have 1 inch of canvas left over on each side. Then you're going to add your side pieces, just like that. Very easy, but it turns out so beautiful. This picture cost like $3, $2.50 even. So mark where you want to glue your house down, add your hot glue, then place your house on your marking. Then after that, I took and made a wreath with that vine I got from Hobby Lobby, and then added little pieces of that boxwood greenery all the way around that wreath. And this is how it turned out. Oh, I went ahead and added a hanger on the back with a little piece of jute and a craft stick. Place the jute and then measure out how long you want the craft stick, and then add some hot glue to the craft stick, and here we go. Here's everything that I made. I added that chicken wire and a cute bow to the top of that. Here's the picture, the ladder, and the tray. I made a lot of this stuff, everything on the tray, but I didn't film everything. But here's that truck. I just love the way the tray turned out, and I hope you do too. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and have a great day. Bye-bye.